Level up your listening with Bose Quiet Comfort Ultra earbuds and headphones. With immersive sound and world-class noise cancellation for a not-so-silent night. Visit Bose.com/Spotify to shop sound that's more than a present.
This is Optimal Relationships Daily, episode 1976. How can I encourage my kids to eat a better whole foods diet? And the science of a child's diet. By Dr. Neal Malik. Hello, everybody. I'm Greg Audino, and welcome to another Sunday bonus episode of Optimal Relationships Daily. And this one will be an interesting one. I'm going to share with you a Q&A segment from Optimal Health Daily, in which our host there, Dr. Neal Malik, answers a question sent in by a listener. And it's the start of a double whammy, because our regular episode, which is live now as well, is a relationships Q&A, in which I will be answering a question sent in by one of you. So, be sure to check that one out too. But first, here is a question sent in to Dr. Neal that I think you parents will be able to relate to. Let's hear his answer as we optimize your life.
Today's question came via email. Valerie writes, "Hello, Dr. Neal. Thank you for hosting such an informative and inspirational podcast. I listen daily and use your information to guide my own personal health and well-being. My question actually has more to do with my children. Although they eat healthy dinners that I cook for them each evening, the rest of the day, it's up to them to decide what they want to eat. Unfortunately, they eat a lot of ultra-processed foods, which of course, I admittedly buy for them. Do you have any tips on how I can help transition them to healthier but easy food options? And also, what does the research tell us about this type of a diet at a young age, and whether it will have any impact on their health when they become adults? All of the children are active in sports and outdoor play, and they have normal BMIs. Thank you so much for your time." Thank you so much for taking the time to send me your question, Valerie, and thank you so much for your kind words and for being a regular listener. I'm thrilled that you find the show so helpful. Now, I appreciate that you want to help your kiddos eat more nutritious foods more often. Occasionally consuming highly processed foods isn't a problem, but if children and adolescents can consume mostly nutritious whole foods, like about 80% of the time, that would be ideal. Valerie, you asked about the research. Specifically, what does the research say about children's diet quality and health later in life? Well, it turns out that eating nutritious foods when we're young can have a positive effect on our health as adults. Multiple studies have found connections between consuming more highly processed foods during childhood and the development of overweight, obesity, type 2 diabetes, and even cardiovascular disease later in life. This is because these foods, these ultra-processed foods, have lots of calories, are easily absorbed, which means the body converts them to sugar pretty easily. They don't have a lot of nutrients, are high in sodium, and high in unhealthy fats. So if these types of foods are consumed regularly, they can then increase blood sugar levels, which in turn lead to higher levels of fat in the blood, which then might increase the amount of cholesterol in the bloodstream, which can then raise blood pressure. So it becomes this kind of chain reaction. In fact, some practicing physicians have found plaque building up inside the arteries of children as young as 8 years of age. These little plaques are pockets of cholesterol that block the flow of blood to organs like the brain and the heart. But if we consume more whole foods when we're younger, we can reduce the chances of these things happening. Physical activity definitely helps prevent these diseases as well. So it's great that your kids are regularly active and that they have healthy BMIs. Again, that's fantastic. Now, most health agencies agree that children and adolescents should aim to get at least 1 hour of vigorous intensity exercise every single day of the week. Okay, so that's the why. That's why eating more nutritious foods and staying physically active when we're young can be helpful for lowering the risk for future disease. Now we have to think about how we can get our kids to actually do these things. Well, we're in luck because researchers have been trying to answer this question for years, so there are lots of studies that tell us what's most helpful. Now, most health professionals agree that younger folks need to be consuming more fruits and vegetables. Vegetables are often the toughest sell, but luckily, just this past week, in fact, an article came across my email inbox that discusses how we can encourage our kids to eat more vegetables. Researchers conducted something called a meta-analysis. That's where scientists collect a bunch of already published studies to see whether these studies had the same results. These meta-analyses are considered the highest quality research, so I often like to use them when I'm trying to find out whether there's truth to something. Well, these results found that getting children familiar with vegetables, particularly vegetable flavors, is one of the best ways to get them to eat more of them. Now, believe it or not, that can begin during pregnancy and continue through infancy. Researchers have found that when pregnant or lactating mothers consume more vegetables, their babies get exposed to those vegetable flavors, which makes the babies more accepting of those flavors as they get older. Now, Valerie, in your case, your kiddos are already older, so we need some other ways to encourage these behaviors. So, another way is to encourage children to consume their veggies first before the other foods on their plate. We also know that with older children, social influences like their friends and those they admire, as well as the media, play a role in their selection of certain foods. While it may seem like parents aren't the most influential when it comes to older children's habits, believe it or not, parents can still have a powerful influence. When your children see you eating nutritious foods, they are more likely to do so as well. And dining together for family meals is one of the best times to do this. Another tip is to encourage each of the kiddos to help design one of the family dinners each week. By allowing the children to decide what the family eats, they feel as though they have a say too. Parents, of course, need to be involved in the planning and have to have final say, but many are surprised to see their children often plan fairly balanced meals on their own. Then involve the children in making up a grocery list, have them involved in the actual grocery shopping and selecting the vegetables that they're going to incorporate in their recipes, have them involved in the actual food preparation and cooking process. All of this will serve to give the children a sense of pride. They're going to want to see the looks on the family's faces when you finally sit down and enjoy the meal together. They love to see the rest of the family enjoying their creations. I wish you the best of luck, Valerie.
We talk about love and communication here on the show every day, but there's always more to learn. And lately, I'm proud to say that my own knowledge of relationships has reached a new level, thanks to our sponsor, Masterclass. Masterclass is an app and streaming platform that makes a meaningful gift this season, because you can help a loved one learn a new skill from the world's best performers. It's like Masterclass instructors are your own personal mentors, providing content and videos that are going to help you reach a new level. For just $10 a month, there are 11 categories and over 180 masterclasses to pick from, with new classes added every month, like renowned psychotherapist Esther Perel's class, which helped me gain a better understanding of relational intelligence, something that has absolutely helped me to be more present and more communicative with the loved ones in my life. So, this holiday season, give one annual membership and get one free at masterclass.com/optimalrelationships. Right now, you can get 2 memberships for the price of one at masterclass.com/optimalrelationships. masterclass.com/optimalrelationships. Offer terms apply. This show is sponsored by Regain Couples Therapy by BetterHelp. Whether you're in the honeymoon phase or partners for life, perfectly content with your partner or going through a rough patch, setting aside time to listen to each other and work through conflicts can transform your relationship. And I can tell you from experience that sometimes the best place to learn how to be the listener or communicator that your partner needs is in therapy. If your relationship is having ups and downs, or you simply want to work on yourselves together, consider giving Regain a try and see how your relationship can improve, no matter what stage you're at. This is an entirely online form of therapy that's not only helpful, but also designed to be convenient, flexible, and suited to your schedule. Just fill out a brief questionnaire to get matched with a licensed therapist and switch therapists anytime for no additional charge. The best relationships are always worth fighting for. Try something new in therapy. Visit regain.com/ORD today to get 10% off your first month. That's regain.com/ORD.
And again, thank you so much for the question and for being a regular listener, Valerie. Answering your questions is my favorite part of the show. So if you want to send one in and make me happy, you can email one to health@oldpodcast.com. Or if you want to hear your voice on the show, come by oldpodcast.com/ask. You can record your question right from your computer's microphone. It's really easy, and you can even play back your message and do retakes before sending it on to us. Or you can do it the old-fashioned way and call in your question. The number is 61 I love OHD. And lastly, on Spotify, you can take a look at this episode and ask your question right in the Spotify app. Again, thank you for doing that. Thank you for sending in your questions. Thank you for being here every day and listening all the way through. I hope you have a great start to your weekend, and I'll see you back here tomorrow where your optimal life awaits.